Police arrested Rudy Perez Jr. for brutally killing Robert Hill at the Truman VA Hospital in February. Just 2 days before Perez's murder trial in September, he found out prosecutors accepted his plea of not guilty due to reason of insanity. That means instead of going to a prison in the Department of Corrections, Perez is now in the Fulton State Hospital, specifically the Biggs Forensic Center. Biggs is the only maximum security psychiatric facility in the state of Missouri and is part of the oldest state psychiatric facility west of the Mississippi River. Inside these doors is the most dangerous work environment in the state, not only because of the 140 or so clients like Rudy Perez, but also because of a building built before World War II. The Biggs Forensic Center opened in 1937. The advancements in the study and treatment of mental health since then are a stark contrast to this facility where those new skills are practiced. Because of state rules, our tour of Biggs behind the barbed wire didn't allow us to bring in a video camera. But we did get our hands on video shot by the Department of Mental Health. The first thing you notice are the hallways, long and narrow with sound-bouncing cinder blocks on both sides. Sharp, blind corners where someone can go unnoticed until it's too late. Ceilings that someone of average height of about 5'10" can easily reach, and in some cases rip down if provoked. And parts of the building patched together because it's coming apart at the seams, literally falling away from the structure. And that's just inside Biggs.
Our gym that's above us that is no longer in service.
Sandy Dreyer is the Director of Dietary Services at Fulton State Hospital.
Because of the asbestos, stairs lead to it up there.
And this is where the food is?
This is where the food is prepared.
Dreyer oversees a department tasked with feeding nearly 450 people 3 meals a day, but not necessarily the same meal.
Like there's a quartered sandwich instead of a whole sandwich.
Each client has a specific diet, maybe a pureed meal or a vegetarian meal or one without tomatoes. But the trick comes in how to make a modern menu with seemingly ancient obstacles.
Still, the general structure of the building is such that we have to have these external pipes that need to, they have the potential, they get hot from the steam and potential burning.
Most large-scale industrial kitchens don't have this kind of exposed covering for pipes?
Correct. We have a number of pieces of equipment that came off a decommissioned Korean War battleship. This is an original cooler, and there's a big hole down here that's, you know, pretty hard to fix. Well, I'm very proud of my staff, and they work hard, but it's far from ideal working conditions. It's the 1930s.
Why don't we already have a new facility? It costs a lot of money to build one. That's number one.
Jeannie Riddle's legislative district includes Callaway County. She says she tries to go to Fulton State Hospital anytime a senator or representative wants to take a tour because it's an important issue.
I believe the support is still there. We do need a new facility. Obviously, if you look at it just from the client standpoint, it's not a place where they can get better.
Very big push in the General Assembly this last session to replace the Biggs portion of the facility. It's about $210 million to build a new hospital and replace Biggs. And there was a lot of momentum in the General Assembly to get that done. Unfortunately, we got part of it, but we didn't get all the funding for that.
Part of it was $13 million for planning and design for the replacement of the Fulton State Hospital. Over the summer, Governor Jay Nixon withheld that money when he had questions about the state's financial situation. According to an email from Nixon Budget Director Linda Lubring, quote, "The governor released $2 million to begin the planning and design work for replacing Fulton State Hospital. Additional spending may be released at a later time," end quote. When asked when that would be, Nixon's press secretary told me, quote, "The remainder of the funding may be released during the course of this fiscal year as more indicators come in regarding the state's financial situation." Will a new facility ever be built?
It has to be built. It's not a question of if it will be built, it has to be built.
People have priorities and where they think the money needs to be spent, and maybe a new mental hospital for individuals that have committed crimes is not a priority on many people's list.
Should it be?
Should it be? Yeah, because we have a lot of people that are not only housed there, but we have people who are employed there.
The employees. Fulton State Hospital employs nearly 1,200 people. Now, when you compare that to the state totals from the Office of Administration, comes out to about 2% of the state employees work at Fulton State Hospital. Now, according to the Missouri Labor Department, state employees filed 810 workers' compensation claims in 2009. 170 of those came from Fulton State Hospital.